What's happening, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit, coming back to you with another video. We are live right now, and in this video, I want to talk about the 10 challenges that I'm currently going through in my reselling business on my journey to $40,000 per month in sales consistently. Right now, I've scaled my business. Just recently hit $27,000 in sales over the last 30 days. My margins are around 35%, which is really good. It could be a little bit higher than that, but I'm being conservative after I pay my team and everything. And again, like I said, today I want to share the challenges. What are the things that I'm going through? What are the things that I'm struggling with? What are the downsides to the business? What are some of the things that I'm trying to figure out? Maybe some mistakes that I've made, some things that are kind of upsetting me in my business right now, because a lot of people say, why don't you share the downsides? Why don't you share, some of the things you're struggling with, and it's so easy for us YouTubers and all of us in general to share like the great things that are happening. But let's talk about some of the downsides. So we got Sabrina in the house. If you guys can hear me loud and clear, drop a 1 down in the comment, just so I know if you can hear me, if you can see me. I am live right now, and I'm streaming directly from the phone. So sometimes the audio could be a little funky. The visual could be a little funky. So drop a 1 if you could hear me, if everything looks and sounds okay. And I'm gonna wait to get confirmation that you guys can hear me and see me. We got Kevin Hawthorne in the house from Lakeland, Florida. What's going on? We got Maui Delights in the house. We got a 1, Sandra 1. What's up, Mary, Jay, Colt? Hope you guys are all doing absolutely fantastic. And I would love to just jump right into things right now and share some of the challenges that I'm dealing with. Now, what's up, Utah? Before I get into things, I'm going to share what exactly I'm doing. So for the folks who haven't been following me, I made a video, probably 4 or 5 months ago, saying my goal was to hit $40,000 a month in sales. I wanted to have between 30 to 40% profit margins. And I think at the time, I was at like, I don't know, 15 or 16,000 a month, maybe less than that. I'm not even sure. Now I'm at 27,000 a month. My margins are maintaining. I've been able to build my team. I'm growing. It looks like I'm going to hit my target. But what I'm doing is I'm buying a lot of items from eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Mercari, and flipping it on Amazon FBA. I still go to thrift stores. Big shout out to JD. I saw one of my subscribers over at Goodwill today. I'm still hitting some library sales from time to time. Still hitting the garage sales and auctions and flea markets from time to time. But the majority of my income is coming from items that I'm sourcing online, right? Otherwise known as online arbitrage. Okay, so let's get into the mistakes. I've written it on the back of a UPS label because I just dropped off about close to 200 items at UPS. So drop a 2 in the comments, guys, if it's cool for me to get into these challenges, because again, everybody talks about the good, but let's expose the negatives. Let's expose the challenges. Let's expose Rake and Profit for some of the things he's struggling right now. All right, so number 1, the first challenge that I'm dealing with right now, and I'm actually trying to figure out how to deal with this, is Amazon I think they're losing some of my shipments. And the reason why I say I think, because the way it works is when you package everything up in a box and you ship it to Amazon, sometimes it could take a while to check in, and your items can become back ordered as they're moving around throughout the various fulfillment centers. And sometimes UPS might mess things up and they're not uploading the tracking correctly. So I actually have like 6 or 7 shipments over the last month and a half that I've been I haven't had a system in place to make sure I'm reconciling all my shipments. And I think I have could be $3,000 worth of product. It's just not checked in. I literally have like 700 items that are literally, and this is problem number 1 and 2, either lost or going through most likely FC transfers, fulfillment center transfers. So when you ship directly to Amazon, a lot of times they're going to ship your items to different fulfillment centers. That's how you're able to order items via Prime 1 to 2 day shipping, because they're strategically placing inventory at certain fulfillment centers and dispersing it amongst the country to make sure that they're able to keep up with the demand. They have statistics on how many people are buying whatever product in Connecticut and Delaware and in Florida. So when you ship to them, sometimes your items can be active in your inventory, but it has 0 inventory because they're moving them all around. And previously I was using inventory placement service, and I think that was really hurting me even more. So the first challenge is dealing with lost shipments. And the thing is, I feel like I might be screwed because now they want proof of ownership of the product. So they want invoices essentially. And I'm buying all my items from thrift stores, garage sales, off eBay, Facebook. And, you know, for me to go in and get an individual receipt or an invoice for every single item and then prove ownership, I don't know. It's just like, is this just part of business, right? With my model, is this the downside of RA and OA? You just don't have that proof of ownership. I guess with OA, if you're going from like Walmart and Target and you're organized, I think that would probably work. But with the eBay model and the thrifting model, I mean, I just might be out of luck, honestly. So for anyone who's dealt with lost shipments, who's doing RA, OA, especially eBay to Amazon flips or Goodwill to Amazon flips, drop a comment down below, whether live or afterwards, and let me know how you're dealing with that. But I mean, the second problem I'm dealing with is these fulfillment center transfers. I mean, I have, like I said, I have like 700 items. Right now in total, I have close to 2,000 in my inventory, and I have like almost 700 items that are literally active but zero inventory, which means the shipment's either lost or most likely, like I said, they're moving them around throughout the fulfillment centers, and it's taking forever for some of this inventory to check in. So I stopped doing the inventory placement, and I must have been an idiot. I don't know why I've been using it. I guess because I used to hate having to do split shipments. And when you use the inventory placement option, it sends all your inventory to one place, but then they disperse it even more. And I think that was causing a lot of my late check-ins. So I disabled inventory placement option, and my items aren't even getting split up. So I just been wasting money the last 6 or 7 months. But that's a challenge because, you know, I'm spending a lot of money on my inventory. Most of my inventory that I'm buying off of eBay and Facebook and Mercari, it's an average of anywhere from $10 to $20 per unit. So do the math on that. Let's just do $10 per unit times 500. That's like $5,000 being held up. Now it's not going to kill me, but you know, I'm investing a lot of my profits back into my business so I could use all the cash flow possible to grow right now. So that's issue number 2. The third challenge I'm dealing with right now, and I already hinted at it, is definitely cash flow. The reason I'm challenged a bit with cash flow is because I'm trying to scale pretty quickly. If I was to slow down my growth of scale, say for example, maybe I just wanted to grow, you know, I don't know, 10% per month, right? From the beginning of the year, it would be much more manageable because I wouldn't be spending so much money on inventory, and I'd be able to pay myself more, and I wouldn't have to have as many virtual assistants on staff, which honestly, that isn't even like making up the big portion of the cash flow issues. It's definitely the product and whatnot. But I'm trying to grow so quickly that most of the profits that the business is spitting out, I'm putting it all back into the business to keep growing. And a lot of my, you know, profit is built into the inventory. So my inventory is getting bigger and bigger. And I was talking about this earlier on another stream. Right now I've got about 1,200 or so items active that are actually available to be purchased, not including the FC transfers and the items that are back ordered. And my sales right now are around 27,000. So if I want to hit 40,000, you know, considering that at scale you might lose a little bit of quality, I'm thinking I'll probably need somewhere between 2,500 and 3,500 in my inventory. So I'm consistently putting a lot of my profits that the business is spitting out on a month-to-month basis back into inventory to get to that point, because based on my average selling price of $40 per unit and based on my turnover rate, which is actually really high, it's like somewhere between like 40 to 50% a month right now. I mean, maybe it's a little less. Based on my numbers, it was like over 40, but I might be running those numbers wrong. Let's think. I have 1,200 in my inventory. I sold 650 over the last 30 days, so it's probably not perfect, but I mean, it could really be over 50% turnover. I've put a lot of effort into making sure my team is looking through SellerAmp, looking through Keepa, making sure the items like the DVDs, board games, video games have a good turnover rate, that we have a good chance at winning the buy box. We're not competing against Amazon, so on and so forth. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't dealing with some cash flow issues. Now I have money in the bank. I can continue scaling, but it's so different for me running the online arbitrage business, just because when I'm I've been a thrifter my whole life. There's like no such thing as cash flow issues. You're picking up items for $1 or $2 and selling it for 30, for 25, right? So like before, I never understood why people would ask like, well, how much are you paying yourself? Like, are you paying yourself a salary? And I used to always think to myself, like, I just live off the money that comes into my bank. There's always like plenty of profit because I'm thrifting, and you know, the biggest thing that's eating up my profits are the fees, but my cost of goods is so low that I didn't really have to pay myself. Now with this business, I'm having to manage cash flow, managing the credit cards. You know, I have a team that's sourcing and listing and helping with shipping and so on and so forth. So I won't go too far on a tangent, but it's definitely a bit new dealing with the cash flow and the growth. The fourth challenge that I'm dealing with is that I ran out of coffee. No, the fourth challenge is I got my first IP complaint recently the other day. Drop a 1 in the comments if you've gotten a IP complaint before. Drop a 2 if you're scared of an IP complaint but you don't know what it is. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you ever gotten an IP complaint? I actually got one on a DVD, and I was an idiot. It was 100% my fault. It didn't affect my health of my Amazon business, my rating or whatever you want to call it. It still says healthy. It's in great condition. But I made a big mistake. And the lesson that I learned was if there's only one FBA seller on a listing, check to see who it is, because if it's the brand only, there's a good chance they're going to try to protect their brand and send out IP complaints to kick people off the listings. Also, you can look at Keepa at the number of sellers. And if you see a sharp drop, like a lot of times what these companies do is they do these little sweeps where they kick everyone off the listing every like month or two. And I noticed with this listing, after I looked back and I learned from my mistake, there was like 6 sellers, then boom, just went to 1. It wasn't like a slow drop where it was selling out on Keepa. It was a drop, like every 2 or 3 months drop to 0 or to 1. And that's essentially a sign that the company is protecting its trademark, protecting its listing. So I got an IP complaint. I made a mistake. So now I have a process in place. Anytime we list an item, we're looking to see if that brand is actually selling it. So that was definitely a learning experience. What's up, Xander? I believe that profit, it's mostly from books, board games. In your case, I'm not sure. I think there might be a conversation going on right now. Let's keep moving, and I'll jump into the conversation, answer some questions. The 5th challenge I'm dealing with right now is building out a system for having my team source replenishable inventory. So one of the advantages I have as someone who's selling DVDs and books and board games and video games and different handheld electronics, I sell a lot of different items, is I have a lot of data that I've collected over the last year. I think over the last year I've sold, I think, over 4,000 items. So I have quite a lot of sales history. Although I am selling a wide variety of SKUs, I don't really go deep into specific SKUs because a lot of my items are like, I don't know, outdated, but like kind of one-of-a-kind things that I source. I have a huge just database of items that I've sold before, maybe multiple times, and I'm pretty confident of how much money I could get for these. And I need to build out a system with my team to be able to replenish that inventory. Let's just say, for example, I've sold maybe, I don't know, let's just say 2,500 unique SKUs. Maybe I'm only in stock with 800 right now, and I have, 1,500 or so that are out of stock that I could reverse source on eBay, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace. I need to put a system in place to be able to do that, to do a little bit better. And I think I've come up with an idea. I was talking to my buddy Seth over at Checkmate Flips, who he's doing over 50 or 60,000 a month right now, doing eBay to Amazon flips like I'm doing. And he shared with me a spreadsheet that he's using. So I'm working to implement a system where every time we buy something or sell something, the virtual assistant team updates it so we can see like very clearly all the SKUs that we've sold, how many are in stock, how many are out of stock, and just kind of have a better, clear vision of each SKU to be able to reverse source, because we have a lot of systems to source like new inventory. And I'm telling you, there's like tens of thousands of SKUs that would be great to resell that we're always on the lookout for, and we're buying new stuff all the time. But if we sell something previously and it's sold well, and we can track how long it took to sell, how long it took for us to make that profit, we should go back and source it again. So that's just one of the challenges that I'm dealing with right now. Challenge number 6 that I'm dealing with in my business is managing all the virtual assistants as a whole. Because the more that I'm growing my business, the more things that I'm learning, the more systems I'm putting in place. There's just so many little things that I have to track on a daily basis, from just sourcing and quality control, restrictions, IP complaints coming in, stranded inventory, reconciling the shipments, managing the individual people who are creating my spreadsheets and updates and the numbers, and making sure the business is profitable, and the different softwares and bookkeeping and taxes. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And as I grow my business, there's just so many more things that are being added to the plate, systems and things that I have to keep an eye out for to protect the business, that it's getting a bit overwhelming. And I definitely need to, do a better job at outsourcing or giving like outcomes or responsibilities to various people on the team, and just creating better systems for them to like create weekly reports or monthly reports. I've improved in this area a lot, but almost like having a whole like sheet of everything that needs to be done on either like a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and having the team do it, check it off, and send reports back. Because having to constantly think like, was this done? Was that done? And you're kind of just like living out of a suitcase, like trying to think about like, it's just not good as the business grows. So I definitely need to build more systems and get a bit more organized and clear on everything that needs to be done. Number 7, the 7th challenge that I'm dealing with on my way to $40,000 a month, are having the virtual assistants hitting their sourcing goals. So I'm not going to go super deep into this, but there's goals that my 2 sourcers aim for. We did have 3, and one of my challenges was one of the virtual assistants just couldn't figure out how to source. Train them, put them through my whole system, put them through my whole course, because I have a course for my virtual assistants to go through, and she just couldn't get it like a month later, and she's just wasting our time. So hitting our sourcing goals. I've taken one of my sourcers who was like my best sourcer, and I've like given her so many more tasks. Like, she's doing all the repricing now on Be Cool. She's reconciling shipments. She's managing other virtual assistants. I've taken her away from sourcing, and now I've got another girl that's sourcing. So I think what I've actually just realized is like, I need to hire another person, and it's not like a ton of money. Like, I can hire another VA for like $300-400 a month, and she could take a lot of tasks. So I think that's what I need to do. I need to have my top girl who's sourcing and not sourcing as much now, get her back to sourcing, and hire another person to take on some of the smaller, unimportant tasks. Because for me, some of the most important tasks are definitely sourcing, repricing, and making sure everything's landing in Amazon, and everything, my inventory health is good and whatnot. So that's my 7th challenge right there. 8th challenge, you guys are going to hate me here, but dealing with some of these eBay sellers. Oh God, some of these eBay sellers are just terrible. The way they package their items, the way they ship their items. Like, we just had an item yesterday. It was an $80 DVD that we're going to sell for $230 on Amazon, and a poly mailer. No protection, no bubble wrap. It's all smashed up. Sent him a message. He's like, you're trying to scam me. Da, 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 da. It wasn't like that. Yeah, it wasn't like that, bozo, because you shipped it in a freaking poly mailer. What are you doing shipping an $80 DVD in a poly mailer? Wake up before I slap you in the face. I'm just kidding. I won't slap you. But come on, guys. Come on. Let's ship a little bit better. Let's make sure that, if you're going to get paid, ship it correctly. Okay. So dealing with some issues there. And there's a lot of items that eBay sellers are just lying about. They're lying about the condition. We're very strict about the condition. And the reason is because Amazon is so strict. If we're not strict with our standards, Amazon surely will, and they'll kick you off. There's a lot of things that if you're not an Amazon seller, you'll learn quite quickly. Not the wild, wild west like eBay. So we're very strict, and I've shared the script that I send out. I've changed it and edited it a little bit, but still, eBay sellers are still sending out just junk. They're lying. They're shipping like crap, and it's created like a new issue for me where like I have all these returns that I had to do, and over the last month I've been like ignoring them all, and I even screwed myself a couple times because when you activate a return, you have to do it within a certain amount of time. Well, I just kept procrastinating and procrastinating. And I realized the issue was, it's because every time I had to do a return, I'd have to go in, find it in the inbox, and I got a million things in the inbox going on. Then I would have to print the label, da-da-da-da-da. So I created a new system about 3 days ago where we have a spreadsheet. Every time I initiate a return, my team uploads a picture of the item, they communicate with the seller, they get the refund, and then they download the PDF and put it in a spreadsheet for me. So now I could just go boom, 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 ship back all the returns, and it's super easy. I don't have to dive through the inbox. So these are the challenges that we're all gonna go through, guys. Like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows like people say. Like, as you grow, you get bigger and bigger and just more problems, and you have to figure them out. Just like the return issue with eBay, I had to set up a system. I shot myself in the foot for the last month and a half because I was being a lazy son of a gun. Wake up, Steve, put a system in place. Now I fixed it, now we're good to go. But that was definitely a challenge, but I think I've overcome that. Number 9, this is something that definitely is new and definitely is a challenge, and it's balancing scale. So scaling my business to 40K to 50K a month with quality control. Because as you scale, you're sourcing more, you're listing more, you're shipping more. And if you're not outsourcing consistently, then you're going to be spending a lot more time and you're going to lose sight of other things. So obviously I'm doing my best to outsource and, build my team and train my team. But as I grow, I'm taking on a lot more responsibilities. And I've just realized on this call with you guys, I need to do a better job building systems, outsourcing and delegating a bit more, and giving people on my team more responsibilities and putting checks and balances in place. But just balancing the growth and just having to source more, list more, ship more issues with Amazon, and just quality control, making sure things are done correctly, that they're done the right way. Obviously we only have 24 hours in a day, and I don't want to be working all day long. I want to hang out with friends. I want to see my family. I want to go outside. I want to work out. I want to make YouTube videos. I don't want to be running my Amazon business all day long. Maybe you do, that's good for you, but I don't. So I've got to be able to work smarter, get my money to work for me, get my team to work with me, get, leverage softwares and systems and spreadsheets. So just one more thing that I'm challenged with right now. And then number 10, this is something I've always been challenged with, and this doesn't necessarily have to do with Amazon. It kind of does, but just shiny object syndrome. Put a 1 in the comments if you guys struggle with shiny object syndrome. How often are things going really well in your business or your life, or you just feel like you have a lot more energy and you're like, well, I'm going to take on all these other things. And ultimately what happens is you lose focus. And focus is probably the singular most important thing in your business. You get what you focus on. If you're focusing on YouTube, if you're focusing on TikTok, if you're focusing on starting up another business and doing all these different things and taking on all these things, you're losing focus. So for me, I've always enjoyed having multiple streams of income, and I built a lot of them up over time. But, it's so tempting to want to dive into wholesale. It's like tempting to want to dive into other online arbitrage methods. Like I'm following my buddy Miles, Flip for Miles, and Warner over at Fields of Profit. Big shout out to them. And it's so tempting to want to start buying Nike shoes and getting into all these other models. I've been doing a lot of networking with wholesalers and different people, and it's so tempting to always want to jump to the next thing. And it's I've got a good thing going for me right now. Are there risks involved? Absolutely. Am I building my business on a volcano? Probably, just because if I get a counterfeit claim or anything down the road, who knows if this is a great idea or absolutely idiotic idea. But I've got a really good system going, and really it's no different than thrifting, right? It's people are always doing OA, especially eBay to Amazon flips or Facebook Marketplace flips to Amazon. It's no different than thrifting. I would say going to online sources like Walmart's and Target's, you have a better chance of, obviously fighting, inauthentic claims and IP complaints and different issues like that. But it's so tempting to want to jump to the next thing. And, I'd be lying if I didn't say that wasn't a temptation pretty much at all times. So it's almost like, and this is one of the things that I really want to credit, my old roommate Avery for. He taught me to be a bit more ballsy and risky, and obviously you got to be smart and strategic and think through, but there's always risks involved. And sometimes if you find something that's working, you got to double, triple down. And a lot of times we freak ourselves out thinking the worst possible scenario is going to happen. A lot of people are always like, I'm never going to sell a new item or a new DVD or anything from a thrift store because I could get my account banned. You can get your account banned with OA from Walmart and Target. It's happened to plenty of people. You can get your account banned doing wholesale or private label. Like, there's always a shitstorm that could potentially destroy your business, but will it? Like what I'm doing right now, what are the odds of me like getting kicked off and banned? Like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20% maybe? Am I breaking terms of service? No. Am I doing anything unethical? No. Am I doing anything wrong? No. But Amazon's a complete pain in the butt, as we all know. But it's like, sometimes you just got to go for it. And you know what? I've gotten to the point where I know that I've built up so many skills. I'm not trying to brag or anything, that I'll always find a way to add value. I'll always find a way to make money with e-commerce. So sometimes you just got to go for it. But it's like so tempting, like, let's just jump ship. I do think the plan is to move into wholesale. I've said that before a million times, so it's like you guys are probably like, this dude's full of shit. But I know that's the way to go. I don't know if it's, for me personally, I think the best way to do it is like what the wholesale formula does, but I don't know if that's the best fit for me. I think I would rather do what like Watch Me Amazon does, or Amazon Lit. You guys know the difference. They're going direct to distributor. So they're getting their capital and they're negotiating to work for them. Whereas like the wholesale, whereas with like the Amazon Lit, Watch Me Amazon method, you just need a lot more money in capital and you're dealing with a lot more products. I don't know. That's my thoughts so far. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Feel free to disagree or agree. But those are some of the challenges I'm dealing with. So let me know right now in the comments, guys, if you have any questions. Let me know what your thoughts are on some of the challenges. If you guys have any feedback, would love to hear. Sassy says, finally got you live working now, following your training for selling books on Amazon, gathering my books to send in. Thank you so much. Yeah, Sassy's talking about my free workshop. If you guys haven't gone through that, go to rakeandprofit.com/workshop. 5 days, it's free. There's no upsells. It's super valuable for anyone wanting to learn about books. Can you do a live at night sometime? I work during the day. Absolutely. Jeremy says, that's why I have a second eBay account, just in case one goes down. The thing is, if one goes down and you did something wrong, same with Amazon, they're just going to link the IP addresses or your bank accounts or some form of data and probably ban both accounts. So you're probably not safe either way. John Stevenson says, I'd fly out an intern for you a few weeks. I might need it, man. Josie says, sometimes it's better to go deep than wide. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, everyone said I need a personal assistant. I've got quite a few. I think I just need to hire one more person to help out with some of these things. Xander says, I have 215 items on eBay and 250 per 90 days, yet my cupboards are full and I'm not selling consistently. I have lots of time, yet I can't thrift because my parents want me to sell more. What should I do? Make sure you're sourcing higher quality items. If your stuff's not selling, then you're either pricing it wrong or it isn't popular, or it doesn't have a market. Like if you find items that are popular and you price them right, they're going to sell. But that's one of the things I like about Amazon versus eBay. eBay's a freaking, it's like, I was so sick and tired of the ups and downs and the freaking shadow banning and, oh, I shipped one item late, or I didn't list every single day, so you're just gonna not show my items. It's just like, come on, eBay, like stop like being so racist. I don't know what they are. What is eBay? It's like they discriminate against you. It's like you gotta be on there all day long listing, or like they punish you. Amazon, you don't have to deal with that. You just have to feed the beast and deal with a ton of rules. What courses do your VAs take, if you don't mind me asking? I created a course for them. So what I do is I create training videos using a software called Loom, and then I just pretty much I just hyperlink out to them in a Google Doc. So I have like 50, 60 videos, and they're all broken into different chapters, maybe like listing, sourcing, shipping, how to use the Amazon Seller app, how to use Seller Amp, how to use Keepa, and it's, you know, broken down specifically in my account. So it's not a source available because it's got all my, you know, personal information and bank account and all that stuff inside of it. But who knows? Maybe down the road I'll create something. Replens, C. Johnson says Replens is where it's at. With a virtual assistant sourcing them, 40K can happen fast depending on your capital, sometimes too fast. Exactly. And, you know, that's why it's almost like I know I could keep scaling faster and faster and even go into debt or have negative cash flow. I've had a couple months with negative cash flow, but the other months made up for it. So I want the business to grow to a point, like I really want to get to probably 40K a month, and I'm going to start taking money out of the business, maybe a little bit. I just don't know how high I want to grow the eBay to Amazon flips. The thing is, I just talked to another guy I met on Instagram. He's 70K a month right now, eBay to Amazon flips. So I'm a little nobody compared to him. And then Checkmate Flips is up at 50K. So it's like, it's so funny how many limiting beliefs I still have. And it's like, I know some of them are right. Like, yeah, you could get banned. Yeah, you could get suspended. But it's like, how many are real versus how many are just limiting beliefs from like my childhood, right? And like things that my parents would say and like beliefs that I had growing up. And when things are good, like they're going to go wrong. Like these are things that separate the winners from the losers. And I'm trying to overcome some of these things right now on my way to 40 to 50K a month, you know? But I do think wholesale is probably where it's going to go eventually, because I've just been learning so many new skills. It's crazy. And I know this is going to just build upon. I hate worrying, like checking my Amazon account. Like, am I going to get suspended? Am I going to get kicked off? Because like, I can't prove anything. So I don't know. I'm just spewing different things, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, the 10 challenges that I'm going through. If so, smash that like button, show some love. If you got any feedback, drop a comment below. If there's anything I can do to help you guys out, let me know as well. And I'm here for you guys. So with that being said, much love. See you in the next one. Bye.